What's up, everybody? Malby13. Okay, so today we're talking about a new AI-powered robot. Mentee Robotics unveiled its 2-year project of creating this robot. I see that one of the key things is the actual system that governs the robot. You may now think that the robot looks the coolest or has the most sophisticated movement, but there are some key advancements in this robot. And the interesting thing is that the AI brain that is based on an LLM, large language model AI, it seems to be able to handle, this is something similar to what we recently saw with Figure 1, where it, but actually it looks a little bit more responsive, but it seems to be able to handle taking, direction and instructions and then like translating it into doing things, perhaps a little bit more streamlined. So let's watch the video, their presentation, and then let's go back over the video and look at it.
What would you like me to do?
Hey Mentee, please go to the table in the kitchen and wait for instructions.
Okay, I will go to the table in the kitchen. I have arrived. What should I do now?
Please put the fruits in the container and place it on the counter behind you.
Sure thing.
Thank you, Mentee.
Okay, so you just saw the robot perform the tasks and everything and navigate. The one thing to keep in mind is that this is a prototype. They are still refining it. This is not a product that is ready for sale yet, but they wanted to demonstrate a few things. I can see they wanted to demonstrate that it could do this stuff in the real world in real time. The important things to note is that it is accepting verbal commands, it's processing the task, it has scene understanding, object detection, such as the fruits, the localization, and that it can grab items, grab things. So the first thing we see is that, obviously it was directed to go to the kitchen. So it already knows where to navigate. It knows where the kitchen is. that's kind of like the underlying thing. So I'm pointing out a few things. It looks like it has, on this particular demonstration, the things on its arms or wrists is for the cameras to track the position of the hands very precisely so that it can do tasks better without issues. So that's kind of what's going on here. I noticed that the head doesn't seem to be able to move around. It seems to function on wide angle cameras, and I noticed that it has cameras facing forward and cameras facing downward, because downward so it can do tasks at the table height. So actually, instead of moving the cameras up and down, they decided to just put two sets of cameras, two eyes. So the reason why you use two cameras is for depth perception, and they're quite spaced out and quite large, the lenses. So that's that. And then we'll also see that it knows the next position, where to take the payload. So it knows the area where it is and where to go. But I think this thing that stuck out to me is that the processing of the requests or the steps every time it needs to do something, they call it think. It's accessing the LLM, the large language model, and it's trying to figure out what to do. So that's how it knows what to do. The information is processed, and then instructions are given to the robot to carry out. The robot carries out those instructions and then does the task. I have to point out again, I hate the voice that they decided to use. I understand that they use a child's voice so that it is friendly, and it's like, oh, it made a mistake, it's okay, it's still learning, it's a little kid. But I absolutely don't like it. Then the one thing about this robot design is that it looks and appears top heavy because it has strong legs, but they're thin and mathematically done so that they don't bend. They have reinforcement, but they are like really hollow. And I get why they would want to do that for lightweightness, but what I think the best thing to do is to just put a plastic clip-on shell that rounds it out a little bit, ovals it out a little bit, just to give it a more normalized appearance. And the problem is, again, that it's so top heavy because of all of the the shell that's on the top and the wide shoulders and stuff like that. So those are just my impressions, and for all I know, they're going to be doing something like that. But it is interesting seeing how the legs work, because you could see the joints and stuff and how the motors are working and stuff. And actually, it is a very interesting design. When you look at the knees and you look at the tops of the legs, the feet give off a really industrial feel. They're kind of bulky and tall. I think that if it's reliable and durable, that's preferred versus just trying to make it look nicer. The actual physical way that it's made is fine, I think, for what we would consider first generation. And the other thing they had on display was the ability for the robot to counterbalance itself when it's carrying something heavy, which is great. So it seems to have this gyroscopic effect where when something heavy is introduced to it, it counters it automatically. So it probably has a balancing system just by default. That's all we know right now. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more robot news. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, and we'll see you for the next one.